cavalcade. We're going to start our parade here today, ladies and gentlemen, with our Scammell Explorer, the 6x6 general service heavy recovery vehicle. First came into production in the late 1940s. In 1950, the brand new version issued to the British Army of the Rhine cost £6,200, which doesn't sound like an awful lot. I did a swift calculation last year, and I think in real terms last year the equivalence was about £135,000. But then again, we've had a credit crunch since then. That vehicle has the Meadows 10.3 litre 6-cylinder petrol, or sometimes diesel engine version. This one is the diesel version. Does 35 miles an hour on the road. The petrol version is slightly faster, but this one does 12 miles to the gallon. The petrol version you're looking at about, if I remember rightly, 4 to the gallon if you're lucky. And this type of vehicle stayed in service with some territorial army units right through to the 1980s. Started life, its description was a heavy recovery vehicle. It was, however, downgraded in the 1960s to a medium recovery vehicle, designed for operating over extremely rough terrain, fitted with a Scammell walking beam back axle, also a transverse leaf spring on the front, and you'll notice those cycle mud guards actually attached to the axle rather than the bodywork. And when you see one of these vehicles going over rough terrain, the axles really do kick up. They were designed to be capable of keeping up with track vehicles as well as wheeled vehicles. And talking of track vehicles, the next vehicle into the arena, the Hagland, the successor in some respects to the Snow Track, an articulated tracked vehicle used, as you may have gathered from the camouflage, amongst others by the Royal Marines in Arctic warfare. Very good off-road capability, and also designed to be able to keep troops safe and comfortable in extreme conditions. Because whereas maybe in a temperate climate you could get away with a ragtop Land Rover, for example, although they did have winterized Land Rovers for the Arctic with heaters, pumped hot air all around the vehicle, very often fitted with a hardtop as well. These were the purpose-built Arctic vehicles. Fully road legal, of course. Not entirely sure what the result would be if somebody saw one of those driving down the road towards them. I know some years ago, I think it was the RAF regiment used to do their track vehicle training out of RAF Cottesmore in Rutland. You'd be driving up the A43 up towards the A1 at Stamford, and you'd see a convoy of 432 armoured personnel carriers, of which we'll be showing you a few a little bit later on this afternoon, coming towards you, and that was mildly worrying. What was even more worrying was that they were all displaying L plates. As I'm sure a number of you heard me mention earlier, the Scammell Explorer and its predecessor, the Pioneer, were sometimes referred to as coffee pot Scammells, because as well as the walking beam back axle and the extreme front axle articulation, they were designed with that very distinctive radiator header tank. The idea being that whatever angle you're operating at, the core of your radiator will always be covered in water. Our little Hagland, incidentally, that now coming past the commentary point once again, you'll notice fitted with the radio antenna unit.